Well, that's really beautiful. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. And I think sometimes you have to revisit a symptom a couple of times because it's quite persistent. It because it carries such a rich, shall we say, um, a revelation of what it wants to point to. It is tenacious, and it will bring the client's attention back to it time and time and again. And I think sometimes I do get the question, yeah, but when do this work end? Do we continue with this work? Part of the answer is yes, it will continue as long as the symptom persists. But there's also good news in the channel, and that is that if you can find peace in yourself when you look at the symptom, when you look at the disturbance, when you look at this person's capacity to push a button in you, when you find peace in yourself, at that moment, the healing has begun. And the path to healing, it then becomes much easier. So there is patience required. But as you alluded to it as well, it is so important that we have patience with our process, that we accept our process, that each process for each individual is different, that it's unique to your own family system. And therefore, as couples, because we started with that in a conversation, sometimes in the couples constellations, it's very, very important that the two hold the space for each other with patience and knowingly that the healing is in process, and to trust that process.
You've spoken about couples. And for me, that's a key. When we deal with couples, each partner in this relationship has a different family system. And when those different family systems are not looked at for what they are, for the one person or the other in the relationship, then it's difficult for the couple to heal with each other unless they've healed with their core wound in the family system. And what that requires, so we're looking at a couple and it's a loving relationship. So it's a relationship of the opening of the heart. My question is, if my heart is not open in the family system, when I have, and you use the word, you have moved away from the family system, you have disconnected from the family system, that means that your partner has to replace every need that you wanted from the family system, that the family system did not meet. And it's putting a lot of pressure on any relationship. So where do I start with all my relationships? When I am disconnected because I've had hardships, because I've had difficulties in my family of origin, those difficulties are in me. And they come with me into each and every relationship that I go into. So when I am disconnected within me, what does that disconnection mean? It means I do everything logically because that is how I survive. That's been my survival mechanism. And then I am disconnected and I'm closing off. You use the word I am constricted in my heart area, and therefore I am not fully transparent to the world around me. I'm always a little bit disconnected from myself as well as the world around me. And while coaching doesn't really pay attention to that, what this work does, it opens it up. It opens up the alignment between, first of all, the head, the heart, and then the consciousness opens up as well.
I think that's such a great summary. Because I often hear in the couple scenarios that, yes, but I've been such a good husband. I've provided for the family, you know, there's no shortage. I'm such a good provider, and so on. And often the wife says, but I'm such a good wife. Look at everything that I do. And yet, underlying what we're not talking about, the real elephant in the room, is this thing that you alluded to, and that's the disconnect. Because I'm playing it safe. Fear has entered the room now. So I don't want to say anything that will estrange my husband. Don't dare speak out about these issues because we are in such a delicate situation. The kids are at school, it's costing a lot of money. He is tentative about his work future. So let's play it safe. And so therefore, we contract, we hold back, we don't speak about the things that really matter. And so the two souls enter a space where there are no expansive conversations. And I think that's the beginning of the end, because if we continue on this path, amplified by the fact that we're now acting something out from our earlier family systems unconsciously, then things are very difficult. So I think it's important for coaches to understand this larger context, larger systemic insight and wisdom when we enter a coaching space with a client.